Hey, listeners, it's Paul Andriola here. Why not join our community at Small Cap Discoveries, where we offer our members direct access to some of the best microcap investment opportunities available? Our members are getting access to premium microcap financings, research reports, and direct access to management. Sign up today at www.smallcapdiscoveries.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Small Cap Discoveries conference call. Today is November 21st, 2024, and today on our call we have the CEO, Omri Brill from Adcore. Adcore trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the symbol ADCO, and it also trades on the OTC under ADCOF. The company is currently trading at 17 cents with about 60 million shares outstanding, or about a $10 million market cap. I'd now like to hand it over to Paul Andriola.
Thanks a lot, Trevor. Great to have Omri back. Omri, Adcore's a AI marketing technology, and it's been a while since you were last with us, so lots has happened since then. Would love to get caught up on what the business has been up to. So you've got a presentation here. I'm just going to hand it over to you and let you go with it.
Absolutely. So my pleasure to be here today, Paul. And like you rightly mentioned, obviously there's a lot to cover. And I think today's presentation is going to be of an interest to, potential investors. So let's dive into it. Obviously, we don't need to write the disclaimer, but feel free to read it if you want on your free time. So Adcore, as Paul rightly mentioned, we are AI-driven marketing technology company traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange, but quite a global company in our core. Headquarters are in Tel Aviv, Israel. We have the Toronto office, we have Melbourne office, Hong Kong, and Shanghai as well. So quite a global team. And basically, there's a lot of technologies that we develop that basically, I would say, the company vision is effortless marketing. So basically, the company believes marketing should be effortless and accessible for everyone. In a sense, we work and our engineers work hard every day in order to develop the best marketing apps and in order, to utilize UI in order to make every dollar that our clients or customers spend online work better for them, getting them better ROAS, achieving more clients, and that's the ultimate goal in the end. So some high-level investment thesis. We are a fast-growing company. In 2023, the company grew by almost 20% year on year. Top line, gross margins are actually improving and are better. 47% gross margin in the last quarter, Q3 2024, and that's compared to 41%, for example, in the previous quarter in last year. Company is profitable, 1.6 million in adjusted EBITDA in 2023, and the core AdTech activity EBITDA was over 2.5 million. And I would say last but definitely not least, it's our proprietary technology. Adcore is a technology company first and foremost, and that's where the true value and the true growth of the company is coming from. Potentially, we are serving a massive market. Online advertising is already almost 1 trillion and estimated to grow by almost 30% in the next 3 years to almost 1.2 trillion. So it's a lot of dollars going online to online advertising, and this market is continuing to grow, and we are very lucky to be in a fast-growing market. To cover some of the tectonic changes that our industry is seeing, I would say the following. On the left side, we see Google and Meta market share, which is obviously declining. So they peaked at around 2016 and at 16, and now they are losing market share. Losing market share, it means there's more channels, there's more competition, and basically more channels and more competition is good news for Adcore, because you can think of Adcore technology as somebody that sits in the middle between the client and the channels. So basically more channels, more competition, there's more need to complex tools like Adcore developing in order to help our client to reach as many channels as possible, and vice versa. Help channels reach as many customers as possible as well. And a similar story actually is happening geographically. So if historically internet was dominated by the US mainly, Now it's much more diverse. We see a lot of emerging market. We see a lot of traffic coming from APAC, for example. And basically, again, US is losing market share. It's becoming more competitive landscape, and there's a lot of markets that you need to serve as well. Again, complexity in that regard, it's good news for Adcore. So like I mentioned, Adcore sit in the middle. If let's say if 2007, a customer could have opened a Google account, maybe target the US, and it would cover most of the internet back then. Nowadays, it's much more complex, right? You need to be on Google, you need to be in Instagram, in Meta, in TikTok, in Microsoft. So there's many channels, and probably we need to be on multiple markets as well, not just the US. And that's when is life becoming much more complex. And ideally, if you have a single entry point, an hub like Adcore to reach all of these channels, that would be very easy for him, and that would do a big difference. And vice versa, even for channels like Microsoft, if they need to reach a lot of clients, working with a partner like Adcore can be actually a very good benefit for them. So we deliver value for the end clients, we deliver value to the channels, and this is why we see such of a success in the last few years. As I mentioned before, quite a global operation. Started in Tel Aviv, Israel, open 2 branches actually in North America, 1 in Canada and 1 in the US, and 3 branches in the APAC region. The leading one is in Australia, but we also have a branch in Hong Kong and Shanghai as well. Company basically technology, if we say about global expansion, we're also expanding our technology offering. If historically our technology offering was mainly around campaign creation, feed optimizations, and now to date we have 9 different apps in what we call the Adcore Marketing Cloud. So you can think of the Adcore Marketing Cloud maybe something similar in concept to what Adobe did for designers. So Adobe introduced the Adobe Creative Cloud, basically put more than 20 apps in the one roof, accessible for everyone that is a designer that need this type of apps. And Adcore vision is to do something similar, but for online marketers. So to date, we have, as I mentioned, already 9 different apps, all of them aggregated into one roof, one place you can access to, which is the Adcore Marketing Cloud. We can talk about app like Media Blast that have a digital wallet that allow you to top up money to this wallet and open accounts on Google and Meta and other channels as well. This is maybe one of the fastest growing apps that we recently launched, a bit over 1 year for now, and already achieved $1 million in ARR. So that's quite an achievement. That's good or strong indications that we have a good market fit for this specific app. Effortless feed or marketing, that's another example. That is apps that sit on the Shopify store and basically allow Shopify store owner to create a feed and basically deploy it to Google and Meta and other channels as well. Feeditor, for example, which is advanced feed editing app, and the list goes on. So basically different, let's say, tasks within online marketer with different apps. For example, SamDoc or Alerter, which is account monitoring and digital asset monitoring and predictive analytics apps. And that's the idea. So different stages within online marketer, you will find the right apps that will help you to achieve more, to do things smarter and better. And basically, like I mentioned before, achieve better ROAS. So a typical client or sample client can be an e-commerce website, for example, like Tectonic Changes that operate in multiple, let's say, geolocation in Australia, in UK, in the US. And basically this specific e-commerce also operate on multiple channels. So we're probably going to do Google, mainly maybe Google Shopping, but also Meta and maybe Microsoft as well. And basically using the different Adcore application like Feeditor, like for example, Media Blast, you will be able to open these accounts, to found this account, to basically optimize the shopping feed and get better results. So all of that done using one or in this case, more than one Adcore app. And basically, that's an ideal scenario. Our client, like an e-commerce client, for example, like Tectonic, can utilize the different applications that Adcore is developing in order to scale up their activity across different geolocation, different currencies, and obviously different channels and devices as well. And if we dive into numbers, then on the top right, we can see the company top line revenue yearly, and we can see the company was growing, like top line revenue was growing fast. 2018 or 2019, when we launched, when we did the IPO, it was 15 million. Today, 2023, we're already over 30 million. So we more than double up our revenue within 4 years from going IPO. And you can see we had a spike in 2021, which was COVID related, but the trend is very positive and continue to be a positive trend and growth trend year on year. You can also see it with the quarterly revenues as well. Bear in mind that there is fluctuation in the advertising industry, because if, for example, Q4 is the strongest quarter in the month, most of the online spending happen over there. So obviously you need to compare quarter to the historic quarter in the last year and not, let's say, quarter on quarter. If you look at geo split in revenue, we see that we have quite an healthy split, almost like 1/3, and 1/3 between the EMEA region, APAC region, and North America region as well. So that's quite a good, strong indication the company is quite balanced and obviously see success in multiple regions as well. If we deep dived into the quarterly metrics or numbers, then Q3 2024, we finished the quarter in a top line revenue of almost 8 million. Gross profit was 3.7 million. It's 12% year-on-year increase, which is quite good. Adjusted EBITDA was positive 300K, and total working capital was over 6 million. The company also benefit from a solid balance sheet. Total assets, as of Q3 2024 was 18 million. Cash position as of Q3 2024 was almost 7 million, and the company is debt-free. So basically, a solid balance sheet and a good foundation for future growth of the business. If you look at the comp table, we can clearly see there's a lot of upside to do with the Adcore current market share price. Obviously, if you look at comparable companies within the MarTech industry, some of brands that probably everyone know, like Marine Software, Padmatic, and others, basically, then you can clearly see that if you look at the upside, for example, as gross profit, the EV gross profit, then there's an upside of more than 1,000% to be made with the Adcore story. Our multiples are ridiculously low, 0.3 compared to the industry average of almost 4. And again, bear in mind the 10 million market cap with 7 million in cash. That's mean an effective EV of 3 million. And that's why the multiple are so attractive. And that's why we believe there's a disconnection between the company through evaluation where the company currently trade off. So to summarize everything we just spoke, and obviously we want to do it like in a brief. Obviously, there's much more to tell about the company, but I would say, online marketing is changing. It's more competitive. There's more, channels now. There's more geo markets to serve. And basically, this complexity is good news for Adcore, because Adcore sits in the middle and bring value both to end clients, and advertiser, and the channels themselves. A fast-growing company been growing year on year for the past 5 years now. 2023, almost 20% in top-line revenue growth. We have our own proprietary technology. To date, 9 different apps that are under the Adcore Marketing Cloud suite. And And basically, we still have plenty of headroom to continue growing. So I think that's the main topics. Obviously, we can talk about key leadership. Myself, CEO, Roy Nevo, the CEO, Amit Conforti. We have Vadim Malkin, a CTO, and obviously the people that are lead the different regions. Ronit Moll in Australia, Martin van de Bem in North America, Alina in Hong Kong, and legal counsel for the company is Avi Dan. I think that's the highlights of the company, the things that basically tell the Adcore story, I would say, in a short, and I would love to hear questions from the audience.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, Omri. Yes, a reminder, everybody that's listening, if you've got a question you'd like me to ask, just use the chat function, and of course, I'll ask on your behalf. Omri, business has been growing for a number of years now. We saw the spike during COVID. If you can pinpoint one thing that's driving the growth, what is it that you guys are doing either differently or maybe something's happening within the industry? You mentioned the Google and some of the changes advertising wise, but is there something more specific in terms of why customers are coming to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would point more than obviously one reason for the growth of the company. So I would say post going public, the company put a lot of emphasis growing or expanding globally, right? So we open different offices, acquire, build up teams, acquire new clients in new regions. I think that's contribute to deliver growth. For example, North America, which is, let's say, the markets that we entered the last, is now our fast growing markets. Q3 2024, for example, we saw almost 30% year-on-year growth in this particular market, and it's our fast growing market. We estimate, by the way, it's going to be our biggest market by 2025. So I think being able to be globally and also in key markets like the US, for example, is a key and critical. But I would say even more than that, it's the technology. Our world is changing, it's becoming more complex. Clients are relying more and more on AI and technology solution, and basically Adcore being able to have this type of solution, have this type of marketing apps, basically put us in a very interesting position and very strong value proposition for our clients.
Mm-hmm. And how do you get a client? Like what's the sales process to convince somebody to use your service?
So it's vary, right? So you can have clients that we get, just literally word of mouth, right? People that using the technology recommend Adcore to their, colleagues and friends, and basically, refer us clients. And this is like one source, for example. Another source can be completely online. Potential clients are looking for us online, looking for a solution, going to the Adcore website, looking at different apps, and basically start the channel. The funnel. It's always almost I would say zero touch funnel. So basically everything can be done by itself online without even a salesperson need to talk. So it depends. The larger the clients, probably somebody would speak with him, but I would say for mid-sized clients, they can do everything themselves online and basically see success from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. And how would we view the sort of the repeatability of your revenue from your clients? When you take on a client, is it a project-based type of revenue or is it ongoing? How do you describe that?
Absolutely. So it's never a project-based, right? Usually I would say there's always going to be a SaaS or fixed component to each, whether it's a retainer or SaaS component, and usually also a performance component. So a performance component is dependent on the services, but can be maybe percentages from their media spend. Or for example, if you're talking about feed editing tools, so maybe we take a extra payment for every action they are doing. So more items that they have in the feed and more frequent the feed need to be updated, the system will charge them more for usage. So I would say always recurrent, a fixed component, whether it's a retainer or SaaS, and a performance metric as well on top of it.
Mm-hmm. And what we always try to look at what new initiatives or what new things you might be doing, whether it's new geography or something like that. Maybe talk to some of the things you're excited about that you're working on.
Absolutely. So I think like we didn't officially announce it, but we already give some teaser to the audience so we can talk about it. Adcore been working for the past year almost on a very different app, which we call Proposally. And basically what's Proposally done, it streamlines the entire sales process for traditional businesses. So if all our apps up until now were focused on marketing, now this particular is focusing on sales. So it's become sales and marketing technology company in the sense once Proposally going to officially launch. And that's a different, I would say, tool altogether, much more robust. It's like looking like a CRM component from the back end and a client portal from the front end. And basically you would be able to do everything with it. So it's going to be integrated into one link shared to your clients. You're going to have the presentation, the price quote, ability to upgrade your price quote, ability to sign an agreement, view and sign an agreement online, to make a payment, to get an update on your project, to ask questions. So all of that will be done in a very nice, I would say, link or portal that's sent to your client, and that should be officially announced by the end of this year. So that's like something is big, and we believe that can be a big generator of revenue in the next coming year for the company.
Fantastic. So you mentioned that you're sitting on a fair bit of cash for a company your size, 6.7 million, I think I saw somewhere. How do investors look at how you're going to spend that cash? Like, what do you need that cash for the business?
So it's a good question. I would say for now, we're trying to be under the current market conditions. It wasn't easy, for small company for the past 3 years or so to be conservative, right? We need to preserve cash, not to to spend it or basically burn it too fast. And I think once we'll see that the markets are open again and we get better valuation, that are more in line with what the company is truly worth, then we believe that either we can raise more cash if we need, but also maybe start to use existing cash for M&A and to be more aggressive growing, whether it's organically or external as well growth.
Gotcha. So we had a question come in here in regards to your revenue growth. The company's achieved revenue growth over the past years, but no positive net income yet. When do you target to be net income profitable? And is there any sense of guidance you can give us?
Yeah, so the company actually is quite, I would say, we always try to be lean in our operational costs and basically try to be as lean as possible and try to achieve profitability. I think we already would say more or less break even, which is for us a positive or a good place to be. I would say for Adcore for the long run, we're still a young company, so we don't need to be too profitable. That means we are too conservative in a sense, right? We need to continue growing. Adcore is a growth story first and foremost, but I would say ideally, as long as we are break even or maybe getting achieving, let's say 10% adjusted EBITDA from top line revenue, I think that's a good place for a company like Adcore to be in the next coming years.
Gotcha. Omri, what sort of challenges do you face running the business and sort of what keeps you up at night?
I used to have a joke that my kids are keep me up at night, but they grew already, so they don't really keep me up all night. So I try to sleep well. That's important, and to eat well and to do my sport,
Yeah.
But I think in general, every business have its challenges. People, I would say, probably would be our number one challenge. Finding talent and recruiting talent is always a challenge, and especially in fields that talent is critical, like engineering and other fields that Adcore critically need people. I would say that's a challenge, but I think we are getting better in this area as well, recruiting more talented people and then basically with low churn rate as well. So this is one, and I think client acquisition is always a challenge, right? You always in order to achieve the next growth, you need more client, and client acquisition being a focus of the company for at least 2024. We put a lot of emphasis both on our sales team, marketing team, being able that they're going to be more efficient and being able to achieve better numbers as well.
I mean, we saw that a number of your marketing people and business development people are sort of international, but is the core amount of staff there based in Israel, and is it easy to sort of find the tech people you need there?
So surprisingly enough, we have a quite a deserved tech team, right? CTO is actually, and a lot of programmers are actually in Canada.
Mm.
So we have engineers in Canada, we have engineers in Tel Aviv. You know, a lot of the design and the UI and UX has been done of Tel Aviv. Product owners are in Tel Aviv. So quite a global team and diverse team. So it's not just about Israel, although Israel is a very strong hub of technology and engineering. But I would say we can find nowadays talented, you know, not only in Israel. Canada is a very strong hub for us. We are opening another hub now in Vietnam, for example. And again, we are looking for the right people, and we don't mind from which country they are coming. As long as they are talented and know the job and can perform, that's the most important thing for us.
Mhm. Fantastic. You clearly mentioned that you're a growth company, so revenue growth is something investors should be obviously keeping a close eye on. But is there anything else that you think investors should pay attention to in terms of metrics or maybe some sort of catalysts?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say a few things. And that's something we repeatedly say in every earning call. Gross profit for us, maybe it's the most important KPI. So I think like being able to perform and grow in gross profit and achieve better gross margin is critical for the company. And this is, let's say, the most important KPI for us. North America is massive for us as well. So being able to grow in this particular market is also very important for us. So I think that's another KPI to look at. And I think last but definitely not least is innovation, technology. So see what type of new apps the company have in the pipeline. When we announce a new app, you know, when we announce, you know, like achieving a milestone in ARR, for example, for a particular app. So I think like technology is critical as well.
Fantastic. And then lastly, is there anything we missed? Is there anything you want to make sure that everybody walks away with knowing today?
No, like people may ask, you know, trading on 17 sets, you know, such a good numbers and basically a strong balance sheet. So where is the catch? What I'm missing? What's wrong? So I have surprise to you people. There's nothing wrong. The market is wrong. You know, that's
Mhm.
the only thing that is wrong. Adcore is a strong and solid company. The future is in front of us. We are growing and actually accelerate our growth. And I think that's probably going to be the best a time in history to get into that core story, you know, like market, you know, for small cap is doesn't make too much sense, especially in Canada. And I think whoever gonna, you know, buy Adcore and stick with it now can make a lot of money in the next coming years.
Fantastic. Listen, I appreciate this, Omri. We've been speaking with Omri Brill, CEO of Adcore, symbols ADCO on the TSX and ADCOF on the OTC. Omri, great to catch up, and we certainly will follow and look forward to catching up in the near future.
It was my pleasure, Paul.
Excellent.
Speak soon.
Bye for now.
Okay, guys.
All right. Let's see if Trevor can jump on here. Okay, no, perfect, Omri. Thank you so much. And we'll follow up. If there's anybody has any questions, we'll point them in your direction and we can follow up that way.
It was our pleasure, you know, like always glad to be here.
Excellent. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye for now.